college, I went to Harvard from 1959 to 1963 as an undergraduate. Later, of course, I went back to Harvard Business School, but that's a trade school. The real Harvard was the 4 years of undergraduate, and it hasn't changed. The main thing I think that differentiates it from an experience of going to college in India is that you really learn to be curious about the world, and you're allowed the flexibility in the first 2 years to move around, to check whether you like drama, whether you like physics, whether you like architecture. And so I went there. My father was an engineer, and at that time, with our middle class insecurities in India, I was going to be an engineer. And very quickly I realized that the place to go to engineering was down the river, MIT, not Harvard. And so I did the next best thing and moved to a science, which was biology. And the reason for that was the person teaching it had just got the Nobel Prize, and so everybody wanted to be in his class. And then I did some biology, and then that summer I came back to India and I saw poverty for the first time. So when you are in India, you don't see it, but when you go abroad and you get a little perspective. And so I went back and I said, I must study economics, must understand this whole business of how to make a poor country rich. And so I moved to study economics. But in between, I fell in love with literature. I did Greek tragedy, I did French literature, Russian, I read Tolstoy, and that was a tremendous experience. In between, I took a course about the visual arts, and I thought I should become an architect. So I was serious about becoming an architect. And well, to cut a long story short, in between I did Sanskrit, I did, ended up in philosophy. And so that really, I think, prepared me, made me what I am. So one was just the ability to move from subject to subject. And second was the constant discipline of having to, one is the curiosity, but two, how to discipline that curiosity in the form of a paper that you write. So how you could capture the beginning, the middle and end and convey it to another person what you had read or what you had seen. I think that discipline today, I write a column in the Times of India. I've been writing it for 20 years, and within 700 words, I have to capture an idea, interestingly, with a beginning, a middle and an end. Well, I feel the humanities are very important. They make us human. A technical education helps you to make a living. A humanities education helps you to make a life. You should want to be both. You want to make a life and you also want to make a living. So it's very important, even in technical universities, etc., that first 2 years should be devoted to the humanities. The humanities help you to answer the big, at least raise the questions, even if you can't find answers to the big questions. The humanities make our critical faculties stronger. It helps us to be curious. It helps us to discover a passion on all the things. So I would say that to everybody and what is a humanities education ultimately? It is basically reading books. So if you don't even have to go to university, just read a book every few weeks and read it for the rest of your life, and you'll get a humanities education. Well, I would say probably India Unbound, I think would be the right book to start with. Because I think India Unbound captures the spirit of contemporary India. It begins with a story of a boy named Raju. After I quit the corporate world, I went around the country, and the first person I met was this 13-year-old boy who was serving us coffee in a village in Tamil Nadu. And this boy told me he was earning 450 rupees a month. He was very proud. I said, that's very little. He said, no, it's perfect because it was a summer job. So he said, and it's a low caste boy. So he said, at 6 o'clock I get on my bicycle, I go to the neighboring village and I take computer lessons. And they also cost 450 rupees a month. This was in 1995. And he said, I'm going to one day run a computer company. I said, where did you get this idea about computers, Raju? He says, the richest man in the world. His name is Bill Gates. He thought it was one word. So Raju's story, and then, as I'm leaving the cafe, he tells me, I figured out the secret of success. I said, what is it? He said, first you must learn Windows. Second, you must learn 400 words of English. I said, only 400 words? Yes. I said, but why 400 words? He says, to pass TOEFL. And I didn't know that you needed 400 words to pass TOEFL. So this is the kind of story book that reflects the aspiration of a new India. And it also critiques the old socialist license permit Raj India. Well, the single most important message, frankly, to a student I would give is to say, to find out what is your passion. In fact, that is the job of a teacher, that is the job of a parent, and that is the job of a student, is to discover, to help someone discover their passion or to discover your passion. Because frankly, unless you find we are not all born Mozart, who at the age of 3.5 knew that he would be making music. We're not like that. We're kind of stumbling through life. And by the time we reach 50 or 40, we say, well, is this what life was all about? Getting a job, getting married, having a house, having a car, sending your children to school, and making them do the same thing as you did. And life's over. And it's gone forever. And unless you live it with a sense of purpose, it's not worth it. So passion, that's the bottom line.